Peace. I come in the divine name of Asiatic K-Mel U Allah. I would like to build on some things. First of all, of course, we know sound travels at a speed of 1,120 feet per second. Having said that, I received the sound about the parliament yesterday, and now what? I was a little bit saddened by that, man. As a brother that has had knowledge of self, man, for almost culture sight for years, I was a little disappointed, man, simply because a parliament is an opportunity for brothers and sisters to come together in a civilized manner and address nation business. Maybe the brother was not received simply because he initially made a comment regarding the term poison animal eaters, and he referred to everyone that ate meat as poison animal eaters. So I can see where they may have offended some people. So people didn't he was saying. I get that. But with regards to what the brother is talking about, insofar as establishing a sovereignty, we need to explore that simply because of this. We say we are a nation. A nation has four characteristics. All right? The four characteristics being land, a population, a sovereignty, and a government. Those are the four characteristics that establish a nation. When I say land, I'm referring to territory. And as we know, our flag is not acknowledged in the United Nations. That's also evidence of a nation. And listen, brothers, I'm not here to discredit this nation because I love it. I've had knowledge of self for almost 40 years. Many of you know me. I had to go through my own hells. So I love it. I'm not discrediting it. All I'm saying is, as long as the brother is not coming with some more type of time, because we're not Moors, as we know, then why not hear the brother out and listen to him in a civilized manner? For this brother to be attacked in front of his babies, in front of his earth, those aren't the actions of civilized people. The father said, let the babies be great. That has to have some teeth to it. All right? If the babies are the greatest, then the elders have to acknowledge that the youth are going to bring fresh ideas. So long as those fresh ideas do not click with the basis of what we teach, there's no problem, or there shouldn't be a problem. Now, if the brother's trying to graft these teachings and talking about morals and things of that nature and taking on the L's, that's something different. You know, if anything, when brothers hear the individual say something that isn't right and exact, why not bring him back onto the path? I mean, it would behoove us to have our own representation. It would behoove us to have our own land. Listen, as it stands, these police officers, this judicial system in America, doesn't mean us any good. We know that. When you say you God, one of the attributes of God is being able to create your own reality, be it economic reality or whatever the type of reality. But there has to be some teeth to that statement. It has to be some teeth to that. When you say you God, it's more than the first degree in the student enrollment. All right? It's more than that. All right? There has to be some evidence, especially at this juncture. I mean, when we were young, it was enough to simply quote the degrees. Now we have to live the degrees. We have to be able to bring those degrees into fruition. Um, this could possibly be the next step. Let's explore it in a civilized manner. Don't just attack the brother. And again, I'm not defending the brother per se. What I am saying is the way it was addressed, that was incorrect. All right? Listen, for brothers that want to contact me, reach out to me, I can be reached 678-989-6112. There are several brothers that I'm in contact with. You know me. My physical is King Justice Tamel Allah. He's in a convalescent home up in Mecca. I'm in contact with Rasheen You Allah as enlightener. I'm not hard to reach. All right? And again, I come in peace. But that brother, that type of behavior, that isn't the behavior of a civilized nation. All right? It's about nation building. All of us can admit the fact that the seats in Parliament are not filled. All of us can admit the fact that the youth, there's a decline in the amount of youth that are coming amongst us getting knowledge of self. You know, I heard a young brother, in fact, this young brother, his old king is Just Allah. That used to be with Jameek Marseille. And this young brother said to me, this is when I was in the Interior Cipher, he said that the lessons are basically null and void. It's like, they're useless. This is a young brother that was basically born or raised in this nation. And I asked him, why did he think so? He said, man, we're making moves. We're trying to make moves. I don't see where having to quote those lessons are relevant. And to that I said to him, listen, the lessons are relevant. But I mentioned that to say this. We have to show these youngsters that this culture is great. We have to show these young brothers that these lessons are great. But we also have to apply them. You can't just sit around and quote them. You can't just sit around and say the babies are the greatest and not let them lead. You got to prepare them to lead, man. You got to prepare them to lead. This is not the 60s. This is not the 70s. This is not even the 80s. It's not even the 90s. And it's about to be 2020. We're going to have to get some fresh ideas, whether we want it or not. We're going to have to, man. I mean, because we're losing. We're going to have to get it seriously. Everyone's going here, there. We're divided. This person's doing this person's doing that. We got to get back to the unification. We got to get back to building. We got to get back to grabbing the youth. And the only way that we're going to do that is if we attract them. They see some movement. They see some evidence of growth. Other than that, man, they just look at us as old fools. And, clearly that isn't our legacy. Let's clean that up, brothers. I love you all. Peace.